Good evening, friends. I'm going to be talking about losing my first fight. Now, if any of you have ever fought, the whole fear throughout the entire training camp, no matter how much you try to hide it from people and try to act tough and like, dude, I'm just going to win, it doesn't even matter. At the back of your mind, it's not what if I lose, it's how it's going to feel if I lose in front of all of these people. Because there is such a side of ego, no matter how much you want to kind of feel like you're a martial artist that doesn't care about any ego at all. When you go up there, there's the thought of everyone who's around you. There's the thought of your family seeing you fight. There's the thought of your friends, even the people that you don't care about, that you're like, oh, fuck them, dude. I'm just going to beat this guy just to spite them. You still care about what they think. And the challenge is losing isn't that bad because we've all lost in sparring, even in front of people. You know what I mean? When you go to a new gym and even if you just roll around with someone and you lose, you've experienced that before. It's not the end of the world. Even getting injured or rocked. Some of you, I'm sure, have gotten knocked out in your fight. That's not the fear. The fear is experiencing that in front of people. And that was the big fear that I had. I've been part of a martial arts studio my entire life. I've been teaching since I was 12, and so many people have looked up to me through those years that my fear was how people were going to react if I didn't win the fight. And in a lot of ways, I didn't believe in myself because of that. I was going more off of the fear of the fight than I was about just enjoying the art that I had spent all this time training for, you know? And every time that I would have nightmares, it wouldn't be of me losing. It would be of me looking around at the people seeing me lose and the people that I care about that I really didn't want to see me lose, especially being a father to a daughter and a son. When you have that type of pressure on you, you want to be that for those kids. You want to show them that no matter how hard things get and no matter how much it seems like you're losing, you push through at the end and you show them that victory can happen as long as you push yourself hard enough, you know? And that was just circling my head the whole time. And when I got there, I was coaching one of my students, Damon, who's one of my best friends. And I was so focused on everything with him. And I was like, man, this is our fight, dude. We're going to go out there. This is our first performance. And I was so excited when he fought. And I felt so calm and passionate. And then as soon as he won, I was excited. And then that fear of losing in front of people started to creep back up. And I didn't even prepare my body the way I should have because my mind wasn't prepared. I was thinking so much about, you know what, I'm just going to show these people how good I am. You know, they've been learning from me for a long time. People know I've been doing this my whole life. I'm going to do a quick knockout. I'm going to knock this dude out in like 10 seconds. This is going to happen like this. And that is what changed the perception of how I was supposed to go about it. Instead of going at it with the game plan that I had worked with Damon for like a year, I went out there fueled by emotions. And, you know, I would have lost a multitude of different ways, but I truly, in that moment, in that fight, lost because of my mind. I went out there just with the thought of the knockout and to impress people, and not with how am I going to go about this fight? How am I going to stick to my game plan, find my range, focus on my footwork? If you guys watch the fight, I go out there with spin kicks and I didn't even know where I was. I just moved just to move, just in case I could clip him. And those of you who have sparred with me know that I've never, ever sparred like that, ever. That's ridiculous. I've always been about the tactics and the technique. And that's one of the great things about being a coach is it's not all about strength and speed and power. It's about, you know, timing beats speed and accuracy beats power. And in that moment, I forgot about all of that, all of it. And I just remember going out there and being like, I have to show everybody because they are relying on me, because they're learning from me, and because the girl that I love and the kids that I love look to me for protection, I had to go out there and win. I had to win in spectacular fashion, or else I wasn't a man in a way that I believed a man should be at that time. And, going out there, threw a bunch of kicks. I saw one landed and I felt the contact. So I just started chasing with side kicks and roundhouse kicks. And then as soon as I started to back up because I was tired, I went in a straight line. And what's the main rule that we always teach? Never step back in a straight line more than 2 times. I did fucking 4 times and then got caught with an uppercut and wasn't myself after it landed. After it landed, I was like, what am I doing? And I looked around, and the hatred and the intensity and the ego wasn't there, because the ego doesn't last. The passion and the love is what lasts. And as soon as I got hit hard that time, my ego went away, but I was too tired and too behind time to start going to a game plan. I couldn't hear my corner. I couldn't hear my own thoughts. I just started moving, throwing front kicks and basics until I ended up getting hit with an overhand. If you watch the fights back, my hands were completely down by my sides. Just like, come on, hit me. It doesn't matter, because that ego was fake, just like it always is. And I got hit. That second time when I was walking back, everything was fuzzy. And I went to look at my corner when they did the standing 8 count. And I went to ask them, should I keep fighting? And the ref saw that I didn't have the heart to continue, so he called it after the 8 count. And I remember trying to leave the ring as quickly as I could, because I just didn't want to be there anymore. I didn't want those people that I love to see that I had failed. And they told me I had to go back in, and the doctor had to check my eyes and all that stuff that you usually do. And as I was leaving, I remember my team was there for me. And I truly thought in that moment, nobody was ever going to want to learn from me again. I thought in that moment that was it. I was done. People saw their instructor lose. Why would they want to learn from somebody who lost his first fight? That's ridiculous. So I started going and basically ran outside, and my team was following me. And I just remember fucking crying and being so upset, and having my team there, I couldn't catch my breath. I wasn't even in pain. I couldn't believe what had happened. And I expected them to be there for me because they were friends, but I expected them to change the next day and be done training with me, you know what I mean? And look differently of me as a man and as a coach. And they all helped me through it, and everyone was there for me and said the best things to kind of get me through it. And then this is the funny part of the story. There's a couple funny parts, but I just didn't want to see my girlfriend and wife. You know what I mean? I just didn't want to see her. Not girlfriend and wife. That would be weird. But girlfriend at the time, wife now. So yeah, I did not want to see her. I was like, there's no way I'm going to see her after this. I need to go home and just not even be around her. I thought, you live in such an environment where there's you see people lose a relationship because they lose a fight, or because they lose the money in their bank. And I was like, that's it. I'm like, she's not gonna love me anymore after this. And my best friend Damon went and grabbed her, and he was like, hey, I got her for you, it's gonna feel better now. And I was so upset, because I was I was starting to feel better, and the last thing that I wanted was to see her at that moment. Even though I loved her and I love her now, I just couldn't see her then. And I saw her, and she was really sweet. And what I learned from the experience, and what I realized the following couple of days, is everyone on my team stayed there. And we ended up getting more people in. And at the end of the day, people reflect on how you made them feel and how you've changed their life more than they reflect on the victories and losses, more than they reflect on what you've actually done. And I think I'm kind of just realizing this now as I'm speaking, that a lot of the times the people that we think love us don't love us. And the way we can tell is how they handle us when we're not providing the things that we used to provide for them, whether it be money or your time. The people who really end up caring for you are the ones that are going to be there for your loss and your victories. And I realized the people that loved me and that I loved back. I realized the true people who were there by my side, and it turned out it was almost all of them. Nobody abandoned me afterwards. Nobody saw me differently. Everyone was just there. And it made me realize that I'm lucky enough to have people like that in my life. I'm lucky enough to not have to worry about people's intention in my circle. And my whole life, I've never trusted people. My parents were divorced. My first girlfriend cheated on me and stuff, basic high school stuff. And I just didn't have any trust for anyone. I kind of like prided myself in that. Like, trust no one. I used to have a shirt and everything. And losing that fight made me trust people. And regardless if any of them break that trust in the future, the feeling of trusting people is enough, and the feeling of faith in the people you love is enough to push you through those moments. So if you do lose a fight, and if you do end up having a breakup, or you do lose something that you feel you had pride in, remember that those people who love you will be there for you, and they'll be proud that you pushed through it. Because at the end of the day, it's not about how many battles you win. It's about how you've touched people in a way that has grown them and helped them experience this life in a better way. And if you touch enough people in this life, it will get rid of all the failures that you've had. I don't remember what my grandpa failed at in his job. I just remembered how he made me feel when we used to make puzzles and spend time together. With Wanda, I don't remember what things she made as mistakes when she was trying to get her black belt. I just remember her being my grandma and being there for me when I needed it. And I think that's what I learned from this fight, is how to trust people, and that sometimes a loss can be better for your mind than a victory if you learn from it. I think that's about it. I don't know if I rambled it all there, but I had a bit of a panic attack again, but it's been getting better. But I had a panic attack, and it was lasting for a little bit, so I decided to go outside and just talk to you guys, and I'm pretty much over it now. Talking to you guys always brings me back to who I am. Love you guys. Good night.